Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm about to step into the gym real quick to get my session in for this Sunday. But before I do, I want to take a few minutes to connect with you because the questions keep coming in. It's really awesome. Thank you so much to all of you. I really appreciate it. And instead of just answering directly one-to-one, I thought I'd take a few minutes to answer them as a group. So we're all on the same page. We all know what's going on. And it's just good to keep in touch one way or the other. How better to do it than through video, right? So one of the questions that came in about a week or so ago was, hey, Alan, I'm using the MCT oil, and I took your consideration on the probiotics. How does that work? Should I take them separately? Or what if I try putting them together? I got that question about almost 2 weeks ago, actually, and I actually didn't have an answer. I did on Google, which is great, but I don't always want to rely on Google alone. I want to test it myself, right? So here's the thing. When it comes to using your MCT oil and your probiotics, for me personally, what I found was that by using them together, especially at night, which is when I like to use the MCT oil, I found that my dinner just felt more comfortable, and I was digesting a whole lot better. MCT oil also, in addition to probiotics, apparently have a better ability to help our gut, to help the stomach process food. So there's actual processing gut health benefits to MCT oil. Using the two together for myself has been phenomenal. Been doing it for about 10 days now, using it at night, and no question, no complaints. It's been good. A quick mention whenever you want to try something new that you've never done before. If you're unsure, do what I do. Number one, use Google. Look at what people are saying, but ask Google in a way that's very, very specific. Because sometimes people will look for answers on Google, but they're typing in stuff that doesn't directly answer their question. For example, I've heard some people type into Google probiotics and MCT oil. Well, if you type into Google that particular statement, then you get a whole generic load of responses. What I did is I typed in, are there health benefits, or are there benefits to taking MCT oil and probiotics at the same time? And just like any other search result you look for or find, you're always going to get a mix of both good and not so good results. What I look for is I look for the majority, and I look for whenever there's a possibility, I try to look for reviews. So I try to look for people that actually have had the experience, articles that they've written up about it, and it takes like 10 minutes, sometimes 20, depending on how technical the question is. But it took me about 10 minutes to pull it up, and it took me about 10 days, 2 weeks give or take, to try it myself. So it's been pretty damn awesome. So for myself, it's been good. Give it a shot, right? The second question that came in is, Alan, how long does it take to transform my body? How long does it take to transform my body? Like, can I do it in 2 weeks? Can I do it in a month? What's it going to take? When it comes to body transformation, the answer to that is, I don't know. I don't know, because we're talking over a video or an email, and the context of the question doesn't give me enough information to know what's going on with that individual. Like, someone who is 30 pounds overweight, for example, will need more time to transform their body versus someone who's just trying to lose the last 5 pounds on their stomach or on their glutes, aka their butt, right? Or that's very different from someone who is undernourished, who is underweight, and has a lot of loose skin because their body does not have enough muscle, and they need to do the reverse. So they actually need to make a transformation by building muscle immediately and not worrying about burning off the body fat. right? So, in terms of being specific, there's not one specific answer for every person. There is a generic answer, though, which is anytime you want to make a transformation, you need 90 days. Okay, 90 days to see, track, and tracking is super important, to track the results of your progress. And here's what I mean. I find from personal experience that a minimum of 30 days is required to build the habit. In other words, unless you've hired a coach where the coach is on your butt all the time saying, hey, you got to show up, you paid for this. If you're doing it on your own instead, then a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people will generally take about 30 days to build the habit. So sometimes they'll, let's say someone says, I got to work out for 5 days a week. Well, in the first week, they might only do 2. Second week, they might go hard and do 6 days. And then the third week, they might only do 3 days because they feel like they overdid it when really they just didn't recover and nutrition themselves enough. And then they'll do less because they're really sore. And then on the fourth week, they'll go back to like a 5-day a week routine, or they'll do what they promised themselves. Excuse me, almost yawned. I don't want to yawn. And then month number 2 is usually when most people are a lot more habitual, where they're more steady. So that's when they can start to see the results on numbers. They don't see it physically, they see it in the numbers. So specifically numbers, what I mean is body fat percentage, muscle percentage, overall weight. Notice how I said the weight last, okay? Body fat percentage, muscle percentage, and then the overall weight. That's month number 2. That's when the numbers start to change. Month number 3, the numbers can consistently start to change depending on how much they're trying to gain or lose, but that's also when they really start to see and notice the change on their body. So, to answer that question, generically 90 days. Specifically, it's usually better to get a coach for either a day or a week to teach you how to track yourself, to help you stay accountable, and to help you understand the plateaus that you might go through before you end up going through them. Some people need coaching throughout the whole duration of the challenge, of the 90-day transformation challenge or process, however you want to call it. But I find as a bare minimum, you need a day to learn it and a week to apply it with accountability. And if you're that kind of person that's a lot more self-motivated, then hey, perfect. You don't need somebody to watch over you and count reps for that long, like for months and months at a time. But you definitely need someone there to make sure you're monitoring yourself very effectively, efficiently, right? That is about the only 2 questions that came in. There's a third question, but I'll leave that for next time because this video is coming up to almost 10 minutes, and I want to try to keep these under 10 minutes, all right? So I hope that was helpful. I know I talked kind of fast today, but I really want to pack all this in such a short period of time. So sometimes I gotta talk really, really, really fast, and I hope that doesn't mess you up because I know talking too fast can be a challenge to absorb. But I want to remind you that we are here for you. We are talking fast for you. We're taking time out of our day to help you, and we want you to ask. We want you to share. We want to know what's going on. Like, we want to know. Like, Helen and I always want to know what's happening. What's happening. Don't be afraid to ever share your thoughts or your progress or your failures. Be afraid, and I say this actually for myself and for a handful of people, because at some level we all get a little bit scared about doing certain things, right? We're human, it's part of it, but we can't let it beat us. So don't be afraid of asking and sharing. Be afraid of not getting the results you want simply because you didn't take the time or you didn't conquer the fear of just asking. We're all friends here. We are literally all friends here. I don't have to spend time with you and know you personally in order to call you a friend. Remember that. Okay, some people do. Some people are like, I'm just gonna keep my best shit to myself. Pardon the French, but I want to be very direct. I'm going to keep all my best stuff to myself, and I'm not going to share anything with you unless you pay me. Some people think like that. And yes, we all got to get paid, but when we're just trying to help each other out, like what friends do, and if it's just sharing advice and it takes me 10 minutes, now 11, I don't need your money to try to help you get better, right? I'll need your money if you ask for a lot of my time. That's different. But if you're just trying to get some advice to get yourself going, ask, please. That we're here for you. Please, please, please ask. Okay, we are committed to you. We just need you to make sure that you also feel you're staying committed to your own results as well. I say that with respect, appreciation, and love towards you. Thank you for listening to my 11-minute rant. Have yourself a great Sunday, and we'll talk to you very soon. See you later, okay?